you got to be willing to do the work. Okay? You got to be willing to do the work it takes to have God manifest in your life. And you do that by applying pressure. To apply pressure, you do it to anybody you love. You do it to these people that you want to be with. I'm applying pressure. You don't apply pressure to God. Why don't you chase him? Why don't you be like, good morning, God, I see you out there looking good, you got the sun shining. Why don't you chase God? Why don't you be like, I got in that word this morning, you such a good God. Apply pressure. Woo him. Woo God. You out here, you want to get attention so bad. Why don't you go to your creator and get his attention? I don't understand people. Woo God instead. Woo your creator. Be like, what? I love the way you design these trees, looking real good out here. You good in architecture. I see you. I love the way you formulated the plants and how the birds come out at 3 a.m. and they be flying and fighting each other. I see what you did there. Why don't you woo God? Why don't you be all up in his skin? I don't understand. Like, God, I love how you made the clouds. You would never take your time to do nothing like that. Like, but you'll run after a human being quickly. You'll be in somebody DM that's married. You'll be this man who won't pay you no mind, and you'll be chasing women 10 and 15 and by the legs, but you'll never chase God like that. That's very interesting, isn't it? You would never take time to be like, dang, God, it's magnificent how you made us to, like, breathe air the way you did. Like, dang, you so smart. You would never tell God that. You would never take your time and be like, God, you just a real one. I just love you just because. Because God can hear you. And this is the thing. You would never take time out of your day to tell God how beautiful he's done. You know what, God? I was toe up. But man, you changed my life. I appreciate you for real. And really feel it with your heart. And really be serious. Like, God, man, you came through for me. I know I had to go and ask for help, but at least you gave me the confidence to do it. I didn't have no shame. Amen. I get to come out here, see how people be exercising in the morning, and I'm homeless, but God, I'm free. You would never in your life take the time to really woo your Father, woo your Creator. Tell him how much you love him and how much you love him as a friend. You would never do nothing like that. Why? Why do you hate God so much that you always got to say something wrong and something that he did? So how much you selfish people. You are selfish. And you are mean and mean-spirited. You are. You are so wrong because you don't want to give God the glory for 5 minutes. You don't know how that would change your life. It would change your life once you are considerate of God for 5 minutes of your day. He don't even ask for much. Just imagine if you gave him your whole life. Just imagine if you gave him 5 minutes. He'll give you an hour. You give him 5, he'll give you an hour. He'll show his hand quickly. I'm just saying, I know how God operates because he'll speak to me quickly. He'll tell me, like if I say, yesterday he was just going back to back wooing me. I'm like, you know what, God, I know you see me out here. Okay? I know my suffering's not in vain. I know you got me. I know I just got to keep it. Amen, Father. It's not easy. It's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not. Every day I'm just like, come on, Lord. I cry out. I still read my word. I get in my word. I don't blame God for everything. Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes it's the enemy. It's the enemy when it's games being played, people trying to manipulate you, and but the warfare in your mind is your responsibility. Sometimes you have idols. That's why try not to drink alcohol and smoke that lettuce and be fornicating, because that don't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better. It actually makes it worse because you're unable to hear God clearly when you're under these types of substances. Okay? But try again. Throw your net in the sea again and see what you catch. Once you do it with all your heart, try to capture God in a different way this time. Be mindful of the things you say. Do it with your whole heart and stop pretending. That's the thing. You pretend too much. You pretend you gotta do it a certain way. Do it your way. Be honest. A lot of you in the relationships doing it. You in a relationship with a whole human, but don't know how to act in front of God. But you can't be the same way be the same way you are with your human. Be honest and open and laugh and let's talk. What's the difference? This is the thing. You want to be in a relationship with a human, but you don't want to be in a relationship with God. You can't have comedy with your father. I don't understand. You can't tell God, dang, this lasagna real good. Or this, I love this smell. God, you like this smell? And just talk to him. I do it all the time. You'll be amazed how God will bring. I remember I wanted this bag so bad. It's cool. So I've been bringing this up. He bringing me the Bath and Body bag. I wanted this bag so bad. I did not have money for it. This was like years ago. Tell me why it landed in my lap, and I ain't forgot about the bag. It landed in my. I'm like, dang, this is the bag I wanted a long time ago. And I'm like, God, you really see me. Let me tell you another thing. How much I loved Common. I never told nobody this story. Never. Well, I think I have on Facebook. I loved Common the rapper. I loved him. I remember growing up, I used to listen to his music, right? And I'm like, dang, what I would get to meet him? Tell me why I met him. Tell me why I did. He came to one of our events when I was a part of this program. He just came out of nowhere. They said, oh, he just happened to come. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. And I was available that day and everything. And he came, and I gave him a hug and everything. It was years ago, though. But still, it's just like how God watches you. He watches you, too. Like, he knows what you love and what you like. Like, God knew I love Common. I buy his little CDs from the little thing at Goodwill and stuff. And God brought that man to me. Not to marry him or nothing. I mean, in another life. But I'm just saying, you know. I was able to wrap my hands around that man. And give him a hug. And tell him that I loved his music. And he looked in my eyes and said, thank you. I believe he did. We just going to say I believe he did. But I know I walked up to him and gave him a hug. I know that. I gave him a hug. I did. And all the ladies was looking at me. I would never forget that. But look, this is just, you know, God pays attention to the small and the big things. Moved heaven and earth to have me meet. I loved Common. I'm telling you, I loved his music. I still do. But moved heaven and earth to get that man in alignment with me, just to tell me how much he loved me. And I didn't even know God like that back then. I didn't even know how much he worked. I just thought it was like, wow, like the world loves me. Something loved me. Like, how did it know? I didn't really know God like that. Like, you know, to know that he was working like that on my behalf. Amen. That he cared for me, that he saw me, and he knew. I was flabbergasted. Common, he just here all of a sudden on a random day, on a random Thursday. Wow, like, you know, stuff like that. And God will blow your mind, and he'll bless your socks off. That's what he'll do. Okay, I'm believing in God. Amen. I just encourage you. Why don't you try to woo God and love God the way you love humans? How about that? If you can't love God, if you can't figure out how to love God and how do I start by believing that God is a human being. How about that?